More and more I'm doing more and more work in Shawnee. And one of the things I've been finding, at least, so there's kind of newer Shawnee, the newer builds, and they probably don't need new siding yet. They will, because they're not built particularly well with just kind of single wall construction panels. But a lot of the older homes in Shawnee, you find just builders cutting tons of corners. And so it's very common for us to see walls that don't line up, they're not level. And as I'm talking to a homeowner, you try to explain it and they're like, no, I've had 4 people out here and no one else had mentioned. And then you get up there and show them, hey, the walls are not level. Here's why they're not level. Here's how we got to fix it. Very common in old Shawnee, around downtown Shawnee. Another thing is just like so many woodpeckers, so much wood rot. And so there's a lot of homes kind of by downtown Shawnee that are built in that kind of like 50 to 57 kind of timeline. And like the original wood shingles is like, please don't repaint those. Like it won't even, I did a house for one guy recently on Bond Street there. They painted 2 years ago. They already, literally 2 years later, they needed to get it replaced. And so the reality is they needed to replace 2 years ago. They were hoping to extend the life cycle. And there's so many old homes in Shawnee, you just can't do it. You just it's okay, just don't paint, just wait. Just wait till you can afford hardy or move, but don't just waste $7,000 on painting that house. And so another big thing is just tons of curb appeal. And so we're seeing more and more kind of younger families also move in there. And the younger couples don't want the house they grew up in. So they want grays, they want blues, they want white trim, they really want to pop. Most homeowners in Shawnee don't want the same car siding and trim. And so they're looking for contrast, looking for modernization. They like wider trims, they like clean angles. And so that's a big trend that we're seeing there around Shawnee. And some of the newer parts of Shawnee, you know, the big thing we see there is like the home is only 25 years old and all the windows were installed wrong, they were cheap, and there's so much wood around these windows. The siding is actually not in bad shape, but it's like, well, if we're gonna replace all the trim on these 30 windows, like what's it gonna cost you the whole house? And so more and more we're seeing people that the windows are so bad, they're causing leaking, other issues, that they're looking at also getting siding. If I'm talking to you about kind of newer homes built, if you need new siding under 30 years, there's a very big problem. So if you built a home in 1990, you already need new siding, which I probably do 78 jobs a year that are built between like 88 and 92. That's a big issue, and you have some major water issues or major woodpecker issues there. You shouldn't be thinking about siding unless you have a major issue. I'd say at least 35, 40 years. When we talk about window replacement, I think of a couple things, right? So one is like, is the window functional? I mean, does it open? I can't tell how many times I meet the homeowner and 2 or 3 windows in the house don't open. No, not all of them, but there's 2 or 3 don't open. Like that's a problem for egress, for safety, but also it's functionality. Why have a window you can't open? Another one is like the seal's broken. All the low E and the argon gas, all that's escaped. And like when it's cold, it fogs up, and in the summer, it's got all kinds of moisture and condensation, and it's just not working. Those are 2 main reasons to have windows done. Another big one though is it's like windows are just going up in price every year. So like the pandemic obviously exacerbated something, but for the last 20 years, windows have gone up. And so I see a lot of homeowners who are like, hey, I want to get the front of my house all new windows, and then we're gonna do all the siding. And I'll go back a year later and do the rest of the house or 2 sides later. And so there's a lot of people out there right now that know the windows aren't working. They're not terrible, but they just know if I wait till they're terrible, the window's gonna cost 50% more too. About 25% of my jobs, we're fixing some windows or replacing some windows on some doors because they don't open, they're not functional, or like they're super foggy, super wet. They're just not performing.